Ahoy hoy y'all, how we doing tonight? It is ARCA Night in America, Sunday night ahead of Labor Day, and we're gonna do some more dirt racing tonight. But Dave Reef is talking to Ken Schrader. I want to hear this.
You and your daddy came to DuQuoin. What do you remember?
Yeah, I was 8, and we came here, slept in a station wagon out at the campground, and I'd never seen a racetrack this big. I'd never seen this many people at a race. I'd never seen a fair that big. We stayed in the station wagon for a couple days, took showers at the shower facility. It was just the time of my life, and I've been coming here pretty much ever since.
And what is it about the dirt miles, too, that you love? They're a dying breed these days, it seems like.
Yeah, they're a dying breed, but we still got a couple real good ones in the Midwest. And, yeah, I mean, there's especially just the history here. You know, like at the Hoosier 100, I mean, the fact that this track was an IndyCar race. Springfield was an IndyCar race. The Hoosier 100 was the second highest paid IndyCar racer in the series. It's just so much history here.
You're running the Silver Crown car tomorrow, the modified as well, but let's focus on the ARCA car. You've always been good here. How good is your car tonight?
I have to get back with you. We didn't qualify quite as good as I'd like. I mean, we're 5th. We're not bad, but we just haven't been in one for a while. I've never driven for Andy Hillenberg. We've done a lot of stuff together. This is the first, and looking forward to it.
This man is good here. 3 wins, 11 top 10s, 11 top 5s, 14 top 10s. Watch out. This guy's going to make it exciting for us tonight here on MAVTV.
Ken Schrader has racked up
The man, the myth, the legend himself, Ken Schrader starts 5th tonight. How we doing tonight, y'all? I see No Tires is here. Moffat Cast, Robert, how we all doing tonight? Oh, Kenny is signing this guy's shirt. Kenny will sign anything, apparently. Okay, so what is our starting lineup for tonight? Jesse Love and Kelly Kovsky, for some reason, did not take qualifying laps. I'm not sure why. They were the 2 fastest in practice. So I'm not really sure why they didn't take qualifying laps. Hey, Landon, Barney, Brian's here. How's it going? Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love Kenny Schrader? Okay, so, yeah, a little weird. Jesse Love top practice. Kelly Kovsky was 2nd. But they're going to start 15th and 16th at the back of the field because they didn't take qualifying laps. I'm not really sure why they didn't. I haven't seen any reason for that. But 15-year-old Landon Lewis in the 2-car, which is a joint venture between Rev Racing and Rhett Jones Racing, he starts on the pole tonight with Ryan Unzicker, last year's Springfield winner, on the outside. Corey Heim will start 3rd with Ty Gibbs in 4th. Kenny Schrader starts 5th. He is in a 10-car for Fast Track tonight. Will Kimmel starts 6th. Taylor Gray is back in the 46. He starts 7th. Tony Breidinger starts 8th. She's in the 25 tonight. D.L. Wilson starts 9th, and Zach Tinkle in 10th. He is in the 27 this week, the Richmond Club car. Tim Monroe will start 11th in the 01, and Owen Smith in the 11 starts 12th. Brad Smith 13th. Wayne Peterson will start 14th, and then, of course, as I already mentioned, Jesse Love will start 15th, and Kelly Kovsky 16th, since they did not take qualifying laps. Let's see. Yes, a lot of playoff implications at Darlington tonight. I've actually been enjoying that race. It's been pretty good, which makes it a little more annoying that this race is when it is. I don't know why we couldn't run this race on Monday night like they did in 2019. Run it Labor Day night after the, is it Silver Crowns that they run tomorrow? Run it after that on Monday night. I don't understand that. Then you're not conflicting with the Cup race. It's still on a day off for most people on Labor Day. I don't get it. I don't understand why it had to be tonight. It seems a little weird to me. Can I be you raging on NASCAR 06? Well, you can try. I don't know that anybody can replicate that. And I don't know that I want... I don't know that I would wish that on anybody. Was Robert going to be in this race? I don't remember. I don't remember who was on the entry list. Let's find out. Let's look at the entry list. He's not on the entry list, so if he was originally on there, they've taken him off of it. Yeah, he's not on there. I don't know. Wait. On the entry list, they have Tony Bridinger's hometown as Indianapolis. She is definitely not from Indianapolis. Does she live in Indy now? She's from California, isn't she?
Went to Winchester, Indiana last year for Venturini Motorsports. That's when we found out this kid is a driver on the national tour and then scored the championship in the ARCA Series West Division.
Yeah, or running on Saturday night. Well, I mean, I understand them wanting to do it with the other races, because they had a modified race earlier, and then, I think it's a Silver Crown race, they said is tomorrow. So I understand kind of wanting to run it with one of those, but I don't know. Yeah, Saturday night would have worked better. So they had to use the backup. They actually had to use qualifying time. Okay, no. I had that backward. 19, they ran it on Saturday night. That's what it was. Yeah, they ran it Saturday night. 18, that was the first year that I covered it. I don't know what they did prior to 18, but in 18, they ran it during the day on Monday. That was the hottest race I've ever been to in my life. 100 degrees all day. I'm pretty sure I almost passed out from a heat stroke at the 2018 DuQuoin race. It was bad.
He's a dirt late model, dirt modified and dirt legends racer. Certainly impressive in just his second ARCA start.
Pretty impressive he was with a top 10.
Oh, Landon Lewis even has a paint scheme tonight. I don't think he had one at Springfield. 19th green. What is 19th green? Is that like a... Sounds like a golf thing. Up until 19, it was on Monday, on Labor Day. Because that's what I was just trying to remember a minute ago. Through 2018, again, I'm not 100% sure what they did before 2018 because I wasn't actually covering it before then, but 2018, it was during the day on Monday on Labor Day. 2019, they moved it to Saturday night, which I think worked fantastic. Why it's on Sunday night now, I don't know. Does Ty have a sponsor? I don't think it's Body Armor. Okay, so we have brakes at 35 and 70 tonight.
Just up the road in Illinois. Right now, Corey Heim from Georgia, buckling up behind the wheel of his race car. Let's get a report on him from Dave Reef.
Well, this is a team that hit the ground running in Springfield, gobbled up every possible point they could, but this has been...
I don't think it was because of rain. I think it was originally scheduled for Monday. I'm pretty sure it was.
Depending on who you talk to, made Shannon Rush a little bit more conservative through practice and conservative through the qualifying procedures, based on simply on the fact you saw what Jesse Love's car had to go through.
So,
didn't want to have
anybody else seeing this? I don't know how many of you actually have Trackpass. You know the numbers that they put on the headlight on the front of the car? The one on Corey's car is not like the font of the 20. It's just like a 20 in tape, like it's a blocky number from tape. You'd think Venturini Motorsports was running out of money with things like that.
A lot of people believe that's the car to beat tonight, but you're also going to have to beat the racing surface to wind up in victory lane. Dave mentioned 2 inches of rain yesterday washed out the USAC Silver Crown Series. They will run tomorrow here on the DuQuoin Mile, but this track, as we said...
Okay, well, apparently the Silver Crowns are tomorrow due to rain, so maybe 2018 was because of rain? I don't think it was, though. Because at that time, my day job was a lot more... Like, I had a normal day job. So it was one of those where if I had a day requested off for a race, if it didn't happen that day, I probably wasn't going to be at the race. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of those where you got to request days off. So if it gets pushed back a couple days to Monday because of rain, that's probably too close and I wouldn't be able to request it off. I don't think
ball within his hands here.
there was
today.
any way I
It's
could
got a
have been
wheel,
there
a dirt
if
bike
it
model
had
around
originally
some of the
been
best
supposed to be
racetracks
Saturday
in
or
America,
Sunday.
especially here in the Midwest. Unzicker.
Maybe they're just lazy like JGR.
Winner,
What shirt am I wearing? The 2019 Christian Eckes Championship shirt.
in ARCA competition. And folks, I can hear the PA address saying we're going to be firing engines, so we're just moments away from getting these things fired.
Unzicker on the outside of the
Is it
front
just
row
me,
before
or
the
does
one.
that
Schrader's back in
extra
fifth. I'm excited to see how
look
he's
extra
progressed.
like
We mentioned
groovy?
Jesse Love is back there in 15. There's a lot to watch here in the opening
I
laps of this one.
I don't know what you mean,
But
Brian.
Schrader alluded to the fact that he just doesn't know how this number 10 car with Andy Hillenberg Racing is going to be. He's never
Engines
been
are
with
fired.
Andy Hillenberg. I think
Let's
they've
get it.
partied a time or two.
Oh, the
But
track.
These cars and how Ken Schrader drives, who knows if it will mesh or not.
And it's a matter of feeling the car.
Yeah, it does
Last
look
time
wider
Schrader
than
was at
normal.
Springfield in October of 2019.
I think what it is,
Schrader's been in this kind of style of car.
because usually
Still, it's
there's a
Landon
groove that gets
Lewis
put down
in
from
the
all the
two
rubber.
that will lead the field to the green flag.
And I don't think
The
that
Southern
groove
Illinois
isn't there.
100 presented by
I don't know
Lucas
why. I don't know if it all got washed away yesterday with the rain. I don't know. Time to rock, roll, and rumble. Not tonight. This isn't a Charlie race. We got Dillner and Trado and Dave Reef on pit road. Well, the plan is to go to Bristol. We will see what happens, because the plan was to go to this race. And I felt it was more prudent to stay home and make money today. That and DuQuoin is not the easiest race to cover from the track. They don't have a media center. I don't even think they've got a press box. Like 2019, it was literally, we set up on the bottom level of the tower at the start-finish line. And we just had to run off of hotspots because they didn't have any Wi-Fi or anything. Which, honestly, was probably one of the most fun experiences I've ever had at a track. Because it was literally, that bottom floor was literally our little makeshift media center. And it was literally just me, Charlie, Baby Jess, Andrea, who was a photographer for ARCA at the time, and Tommy Venturini, who used to do the PR for Venturini Motorsports. Pretty sure we were the only ones down there, and it was just like this little party we had going on. We had like 3 laptops set up. We had one with the race broadcast on it, one with timing and scoring on it, and I don't remember what the other one had on it, but it was great. That's probably the most fun I've ever had covering a race. Oh, you're going to be at Bristol, Robert? You're going to be there for ARCA on Thursday? No, I'm definitely not going to Portland. Can't make that happen. I'd like to. I'd like to go to Portland. Maybe next year.
And we'll see plenty of fireworks, I believe, with this track that has plenty of character tonight for 100 total laps. But how about this? What were you doing at 15 years old? 10th grade in school. Landon Lewis is going to be on the pole tonight for this ARCA Menard Series battle at DuQuoin with Ryan Unzicker, the dirt veteran, on that front row.
And our championship contenders are in row 2. Corey Heim, 11 points behind Ty Gibbs in this one. Schrader's back in the series. We're also going to ride along with Will Kimmel.
Dude, their stock photo of Kenny Schrader is hilarious.
Taylor Gray is
Like,
very good on the dirt.
I don't know what to make of it. It's just like a mix between real sweet, nice old man and like creepy old man. Because he's just got this smile on his face, but he's kind of tilted down a little bit. He's just like... so weird.
By the way, Jesse Love back there in 15. He did not take a qualifying lap because they had to repair the nose on that race car after practice. And by the way, he was quickest in practice for the ARCA Menard
Is
Series.
Kelly Kovsky not starting? They don't even have Kelly Kovsky on their starting lineup.
Being carried by Ken Schrader,
So apparently Jesse Love had to fix damage, and that's why he didn't take a qualifying lap. I'm wondering if that wasn't Kovsky's issue too? But maybe his damage was too much and he can't start the race?
And another guy that's pretty good here at DuQuoin.
I don't know, I'm very confused.
Years ago, Will Kimmel in this 16.
And now I kind of wish I was there, just so I'd know.
He was out in practice early on, loves to be the first car out there. He hit something on the racetrack.
Ooh, the whole weekend, nice.
From the damage. Kelly also, if you're watching this race,
Lucky man, Robert. I'd like to stay for the whole weekend. That would be cool. They wouldn't even give me credentials for the whole weekend. I had to specifically tell them I'd only be there for ARCA, and that's the only reason they would give me credentials. Bristol has always been really stringent about credentials. I don't know why. It's always been a lot harder to get credentials there, at least for me, than it has been for most other tracks.
So much history. The first ARCA race held back in 1957. 5 wins apiece for both Frank Kimmel and Dean Roper, but Roper did it both with ARCA as well as the old USAC Stock Car Series.
Yeah, Frank Kimmel is so good here on the dirt miles. Great to see him in the pits. He'll be working with the number 46 team tonight with Taylor Gray. And when this fireworks go off, these teams are ready.
All right, this is going to be interesting.
A lot of work as far as Track Enterprises getting this track ready. We'll see how cars adapt here. I think we're going to see some really, I'd say some...
No, Tires, you clearly haven't been listening in the interviews with Charlie lately. Charlie would be disappointed in you.
25 car, Tony Breidinger, she finished top 10 on the dirt.
Ty is not going truck racing. He's going straight to Xfinity next year.
For the driver, the 25.
Yeah, she's got a lot going for her right now. Hair Club, a sponsor on her number 25. It's their second to last ARCA Menard Series start in a limited schedule with Venturini Motorsports after starting off the year in Daytona with Young's Motorsports, the Truck Series team.
Did he say that's her last start? I thought she was doing Kansas.
Seen him in the 06 on 3 other occasions this year, so he's making another start in the ARCA.
Of course, that wouldn't be the first thing Trado has had wrong tonight. So they were talking about the CGS Imaging 4 Crown Championship earlier. They literally had all the races on the screen, and he literally said the wrong track for each type of track. He said Watkins Glen instead of Mid-Ohio. He said Michigan instead of Kansas. And green flag. Lewis clears into the lead in turn 1. Corey and Ty still side by side for third behind Unzicker. Looks like Ty's going to power around the outside into third around Corey. Will Kimmel is up to 5th on the start. At least timing and scoring's working this time. Hey, Earl. Supposedly Tony. I thought she was at least doing Kansas also, but according to Trado, I think he said this is her last start.
He told us earlier that he was going to send it. And he said, if I knock the nose off the car, I knock the nose off the car. But that kid is going to be one to watch tonight in the 46.
I think I just saw a big old chunk of the nose fly off the number 20 of Corey Hine there, racing
Jesse Love already up to 8th after 1 lap.
soft on the inside of the racetrack. That right front corner is already knocked off in the crash with Toyota.
Look at that.
Make that 7th. He's already around Kenny Schrader for 7th.
Jesse Love, brand new nose on his car from a practice run in with a big old clump of mud off of turn 2.
I'm getting Michael Self Sinclair vibes from this Jesse Love car because I don't know if it's tape or if it's an actual new nose they've got stuck on the car, but it's green, like Sinclair green.
Tomorrow, but it has been quite the job for Bob Sargent and his staff to get this one ready. Here is that right front.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right, Robert. Dibby is going to be lucky to have a job. Kovsky's not in the race. Ooh, damage for Corey Heim. He has punched in the right front. What just happened?
Now what do you tape it to? Where do you put the supports back? They're all gone. So if he happens to hit something with that right front tire, it's exposed like a dirt modified, exposed right front tire. That could
what just happened?
Because he doesn't have that nose to scoop it away before it gets to the tread.
Yeah, Kovsky didn't start. Jesse Love had damage, and that's why he didn't take a qualifying lap. They haven't said a word about Kovsky, but I'm assuming he was involved in whatever Jesse had damage from.
And could that be a factor here in the next few laps?
Corey Heim as a spotter. Lloyd Garner goes everywhere Corey does, but they've only gone to 3 other dirt races prior to this one. So looking at that,
well, it's not a surprise when he's in a fast track car.
Landon Lewis leads, but let's take a look.
Hitting the racetrack? That's what that came from?
What occurred with the 20 of Corey Heim? Keep an eye on him right here with Ty Gibbs in the 18. He tried to stay off of him.
A lot of loose stuff on the racetrack is what he got into. He tried to get low on Ty Gibbs to keep that nose clean. But
that might be the weirdest way I've ever seen to get damage. I'm not even sure I understand what just happened. So he came up behind Ty to try and make a move, got off of the gas to try and not get into Ty, and apparently ran into some mud clumps that took out the right front fender? I'm so confused.
We will be looking for 3 nominations for the Reese's Sweet Move of the race in the ARCA Racing Series at DuQuoin. This guy might have a sweet move at some point in this race. A lot of big things expected from the dirt track veteran Ryan Unzicker in the 24.
So our position is in the clubhouse above turn 1. A great view for the horse track and the water of the boat track.
Ford in 2005 Martinsville. I don't remember that one.
Rolling through turn 1. I really enjoyed listening to his car in practice. He sends it in there. We also have to worry a little bit about that dirt collection on the nose piece below the grill on the number 24. Unzicker raced with us at Springfield, but only lasted 23 laps before he had overheating issues, popped something in the lower radiator hose to knock him out of what would be another race to go and win because he won at Springfield the last time we were there.
Third place, Ty Gibbs, the championship point leader at DuQuoin, hoping for a good top 5 run and to keep Corey High within his sights. I think that's.
And yes, Ty does not have a sponsor tonight. That is a blank black car again.
He is by no means a dirt track ringer.
With this track as loose as it is.
Dibslin, what are we gonna do with you? Just kidding. How's it going? I just realized you're doing the NASCAR 06 thing, no tires. I was like, what is she talking about?
My worry though is that upper screen between the headlights, that's also got a lot of brown dirt on it. So that temperature might be a concern for that team. The lap 35 break.
Honestly, I think it would be pretty hard for Kenny not to get a top 10 tonight. There's only like 8 to 9 up to speed cars now that Kovsky's not in the race. So he'd have to have some real issues not to be in the top 10 tonight.
Corey Heim, though, trying to work his way around some slower traffic, and that right front not affecting him. He's been able to stay with Ty Gibbs in the 18.
And hey, Shannon Rush, the crew chief on the number 20 team, he knows exactly what he's going to do here. He's going to build probably another small piece.
We have really spread the field out very quickly.
Kevin Swindell won for this team in the number 15. He knocked the left front fender off on a guardrail in practice. It was completely made out of duct tape, and they won the race. That was a couple years ago, understandably. But Shannon Rush has won as a crew chief in the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, Truck Series.
Oh, that was the race where the track came apart. Okay. Now I know what you're talking about, Robert.
He knows exactly what he's going to do to this number 20 car at the first opportunity at pit road.
Did you see that onboard camera? Oh my, you can barely see out the front windshield for Will Kimmel in the 69. Right now, he's running the 5th spot. Look at that.
The glare of the lights, this is all what the driver sees, so they actually have to steer kind of where the rearview mirror is on your passenger car. They kind of have to look through that A-pillar area to
Oh, well, that's always good.
Certainly something of a concern for these drivers. Again, these are plexiglass windshields, just like in the NASCAR Cup Series. But keeping the nose clean, keeping that windshield clean is critical here. None of these lights, that just magnifies the glare.
When was the last time Kenny...
Yeah.
The last time Kenny raced an ARCA car on dirt was this race in 2019. He actually won the pole in that race.
It was. Here's Jesse Love. Love, remember, started last in this race after tearing the nose off on that race car in practice. By the way, he was quickest in practice. And now Love trying to get by Taylor Gray for 6th.
Just noticing how he followed Gray into the corner and how he actually has to change his line to keep that nose clean. We saw a lot of dirt flare up from the rear of that black 46.
Yeah, Corey is not as competitive tonight as he was at Springfield.
To prevent the clotting, when you get that close to car behind, ahead of you, you can pile up quickly.
By the way, what were you doing at 15 years old?
I was working as a dishwasher, paying for my own high school education.
Not racing a car and leading laps at DuQuoin in the ARCA Racing Series?
Wanted to. I wanted to race a go-kart. Just something.
Oh my gosh, Landon Lewis having the time of his life tonight in the ARCA Racing Series at DuQuoin.
Landon Lewis is out here making it look easy. Superheim. He ain't Superheim tonight. At least he's not so far. Alright. Let's see. Running order right now. Lap is timing and scoring. No. Okay, yes it is working. Okay. Lap 14, Landon Lewis still your leader. He's led all of them so far from the pole. Ryan Unzicker 2nd. Ty Gibbs 3rd. Corey Heim 4th. Will Kimmel 5th. Taylor Gray 6th. Jesse Love 7th. Kenny Schrader 8th. Tony Breidinger 9th. And D.L. Wilson is 10th. What do you mean you'll be glad when they're not even in the picture tonight? They're 3rd and 4th. You're complaining about a non-issue, Dibslin. Literally a non-issue. And realistically, it's still going to be the same thing next year. It'll just be 2 different names. Sammy Smith is probably going to do similar to what Ty has done, even though he won't be running the full season, because he's not 18 until June, I think. Daniel Dye will probably win a lot of races. I don't know who else is actually going to be around, though. Sanchez and Carruth are going to be in rev cars, but with what they've done this year, I'm not... And that's not a knock on them. I don't know that Rev is giving them the best equipment right now to work with, but Sanchez has had his moments. He was pretty fast at Michigan, but I don't know that they're going to be consistently competing for wins either. Did Tinkle park it? I don't think so. He's 2 laps down, but I don't think he parked it. Caution's out, apparently. I don't know for what. MAVTV has a knack for always going to brake when there's a caution. I don't know that I'm allowed to talk about that yet, in terms of what Corey is doing. I know what he's going to do. I don't know that I'm allowed to talk about that yet, though.
The ARCA Menard Series is brought to you by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
Oh, I took it away.
Debris is the
I was enjoying that.
Series officials, and we are under caution for the first time.
Sanchez has been fasted down. Okay, yes, you're right. Yeah, the bigger the track, it seems like Sanchez has been better. It's the short tracks where they've not been so great.
There is Landon Lewis, 15 years old, leading this race.
You know, knowing ARCA, it wouldn't surprise me, Dibslin.
He's missing a little bit of the front piece, the right side nose piece on that car. It looks like he hit something, Jim. You saw in turn number 1.
Yeah, the big 19th green logo on the hood was the same color.
Okay, so Landon Lewis had the same issue that Corey Heim had.
Nice and pitched in the right position, but you see right there, caught a little bit of debris.
It didn't quite knock the right front off as much as it did with Corey, but it is...
But that tells you this track is really taking its toll. Landon was holding a nice smooth
I don't know what is happening tonight with this track.
He rode a little bit higher on the racetrack than he had been. Chunked off a little bit of that front balance on the right.
The Speed Channel theme song? I don't even remember what the Speed Channel theme song was.
Piece of, say, a skirt, you know, around the front nose, and he's gotten that knocked off a little bit. But right now, Landon Lewis is showing some unbelievable prowess behind the wheel. We know he's pretty good on the dirt. He's won a bunch of modified races.
I get the feeling we're going to see more races out of Landon Lewis next year, too, so... Not going to be full-time, because he'll only be like 15 or 16, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him on some pavement races next year.
That is getting cleaned up so we can go back to green flag racing. Now, at the same time, I've been waiting for this all week long.
The ride on the Ferris wheel?
No, not the ride on the Ferris wheel. I'm afraid of Ferris wheels. I know you love them, but I want to know... What are these 3?
He's afraid of Ferris
wheels.
wheels.
The dirt compiling on the front nose of these cars.
What?
The teams raced at Springfield and said, you know, we need to change this, change that, move this, move that, to avoid overheating.
Ty's never been in the 51 truck, and I don't think he's ever going to be in the 51 truck.
Dirt races before this year and had overheating issues in both of those. So you need to keep that nose clean, no question. Avoid the overheat. Also, you need to stay close. When that pace gets going and the leader is no longer on the same straightaway as you, that makes you panic. That makes you overdrive the car. And on this racetrack edition, you need to stay close to the leaders. You need to be on that front stretch. You need to be in contention on the lead lap. As you're now
They still have yet to say why this caution happened.
Here into this first caution. I also think you need to stay in the group. The track will
Dibslin, you may be onto something with the phantom debris caution. Hey, Casey.
You just got to find the right moment, right space. As we saw a few of these cars.
I don't know. I don't know that I want to ask any questions. I have many follow-up questions, Robert, but I don't know that I want to ask them.
And we're going to see that tonight. Ken Schrader, by the way, with his
He hates heights. Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like he was just trying to make a joke, though, and it didn't quite hit.
Guy's got wins in just about every series in America.
You know, Dave rattled off his stats: 14 top 10s, 11 top 5s. He's only been in here 15 times at DuQuoin. I mean, he's really good at this.
Did they say debris? Okay, I must have been talking and not listening. So yes, I think Dibslin was right. It was a phantom debris caution.
Specific cars over given time. A former racer himself. He raced here
at the rate we're going, though, it's probably somebody's fender got knocked off by pieces of the track coming up.
Andy won the ARCA Racing Series Championship driving for Kenny Schrader back in 1995.
McClure has spent time with Venturini Motorsports here recently. Just a smart guy. Ken Schrader, we just mentioned, he did come down pit road. How about more with Dave?
Well, chance to talk with Jeff McClure about what went on. This is a guy that goes
no
way back
comment
with Ken Schrader.
No
In fact, you're saying
comment.
this is the first time you've actually got the opportunity to be his crew chief. What did you change on the car here? What did you come to pit road to do?
Windshield, just can't see right now. We've tightened a little bit tight, so we're fighting that right now. Freed him up a little bit, try to get the windshield clean. That's the biggest thing right now. You just can't see.
What's Kenny's confidence level in the race car right now? Can we make it better for him and get him up front?
Yeah, we're gonna make it better. We're just tight. We're just a little tight right now.
Hey, you guys have way too much fun, by the way. Great stories coming from you by Ken Schrader as well.
Schrader can tell us.
I can tell you that. We're spending every waking moment right now talking about Kenny Schrader running an 8th.
So not only is he a friendly host, but he also has great stories.
Talking to his crew chief, who I don't think has ever done an interview in his life.
Tonight he won the modified heat race by half a lap, it seemed like. He loves racing 80 or so times a year in his dirt modified all over the country.
I once knew someone
if you see
who
Schrader advertised for a race near you, you need to go watch what Kenny does. He loves racing, loves hanging out with the fans, and loves telling stories.
Let's be honest, even if he doesn't have a beer
Dibslin,
sponsor,
why?
Schrader can find himself some beer.
Oh, he knows everybody too. As long as he's been doing this, he has a notebook for every year. Every year he got a calendar of where he goes, what he races, and no doubt in there is phone numbers for perhaps the guy that can weld his car. If he breaks it on Friday, where can I go Saturday morning to get my car?
And not that
he's very well connected when it comes.
I'm going to qualify what I said a minute ago about making Kenny Schrader a story. Not that I don't think it's very cool that he's in this race and that it is a story. They've literally done 2 interviews on this broadcast so far. One of them was with Kenny, and the other was now with his crew chief.
3 divisions for Kenny Schrader.
So they're putting a lot of emphasis on Kenny Schrader for somebody that's running in 7th, 8th, wherever he is. I'm not. Where is he running? 8th.
At an auction, a lot of these teams benefited from that. So it's great to see Schrader back behind the wheel.
No, 7th.
ARCA machines at a track that
Did he get around Taylor Gray?
So much to him still.
I want to see what the 2011 Dirt Car UMP Late Model Champion can do here from the outside of this front row. He knows dirt. Landon Lewis does as well, but the difference in experience certainly far-reaching between the driver on the outside with all those wins. In fact, last night he ran a dirt late model up at Falls and finished 4th. Did Ryan Unzicker. Landon Lewis, limited experience within a stock car, coming back to the stripe.
He's got a great driver and NASCAR Hall of Famer Ron Hornaday helping this young driver. Hornaday was the king of the restarts when he raced in the NASCAR Truck Series all those years. Let's see how this kid does. Did he listen to
I mean, I don't blame him for wanting him to win. That would be really cool. It just seems like a touch too much. Comparatively to the coverage they're giving everybody else. Unzicker hanging on the outside. He could take the lead here. Nope, Lewis is going to clear him down the backstretch. Landon Lewis back to the lead. Unzicker 2nd. Ty Gibbs is going to hold on to 3rd over Corey Heim. And is that Jesse Love up to 5th? That is Jesse Love.
Coming through the field, Jesse Love, 5th car in line. The white Mobil 1 Toyota with the green nose is now in the top 5 positions here looking at the inside.
Jesse Love has my nomination for a Reese's.
Does Jesse have damage? Like, the back of his hood is flapping. Oh, and he goes around! T-boned by Taylor Gray as he goes around.
Taylor Gray.
What were you impressed about, Bob? Because right there, Jesse was just sent into turn 1. He was sideways before the corner.
Jesse is not having a good day. Fastest in practice, and it's all gone downhill from there.
Indeed it is. It's torn up. So Jesse Love, possibly with a tire going down, and that's why he spun it. Just a phenomenal ride from 15th all the way up into the top 5.
Landon is 15. I don't think he could. Could he drive a truck at this point? I think you have to be 16 to be in a truck.
On that restart with the tire going down.
Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe you can drive a truck at 15. But I think it would only be trucks. I think it's still 18 for Cup and Xfinity.
That left rear tire just came apart.
Yeah, he's at a loose handling.
Oh, the left rear went down.
Experience, but really kind of getting that side bite.
Aha.
Tire off.
Nothing Jesse Love can do.
Oof, Taylor Gray straight into the door.
You know, this is a kid that was having way too much fun in qualifying earlier today before that nose came off, and those they were able to replace. They said, be calm, be smooth, come to the front, and that's exactly what he's been doing for this Venturini team, led, of course, by Kevin Reed. But Kevin and Jesse on the Racing Electronics scanner right now, they may have a bigger issue. There is some smoke inside of that race car. Jesse Love thinks perhaps they have a broken rear end. He is on his way to pit road.
Bad break for Jesse Love.
Are you sure 17 can run Xfinity? I'm pretty sure it's 18.
At DuQuoin.
Well, that is what he's doing right now. He is running ARCA.
Has some dirt experience and some successes there as well, but not necessarily in a stock car.
Wing, non-wing, midgets. Keith Coons midgets ran the Chili Bowl this year. A lot of dirt experience for this young driver, hoping for a big thing here. One of the tracks he circled, no question, is a track he could contend for his first win in this series.
Yeah, you can't do big tracks in any series till you're 18.
The damage on that race car, they'll take the rear
but you can do short tracks. I think it's anything up to 1 1/4 miles you can do under 18. I think that's the cutoff. I think it's 1 1/4 miles. Alright, so running order under the second caution now, working lap 24. We're about 10 laps from the first break. Landon Lewis, still your leader. He's led all of them so far. Ryan Unzicker, second. Ty Gibbs, third. Corey Heim, fourth. Will Kimmel, fifth. Ken Schrader got up to sixth through all of that. Tony Breidinger, seventh. Taylor Gray holds down eighth. Tim Monroe, ninth. And Jesse Love currently scored in 10th. It looks like he went a lap down through that. So, yeah, bad day gets worse for Jesse Love. Yeah, that's true. You can be 17 and run Pocono, and I think Kentucky is the other one that's over 1 1/4 miles that you can do at 17. I don't know why that is. But yeah, because I don't remember who actually ran Kentucky last year, but I'm pretty sure somebody that was 17 ran Kentucky last year. Maybe it was Ty. I think it was Ty, because didn't Ty win Kentucky last year? And he was definitely not 18 yet at that point. Okay, that's what I thought. That I've slept since then, I don't remember.
2 cautions in the first 25
I
laps
thought
of the
I
Silver
vaguely
Medal
remembered that, though.
Presented by Lucas Oil for the ARCA Menard Series.
Oh, yep, that's right. Mayor was in it, too. Yep. Hey, Ashton.
Let's get more with Dave.
Well, the initial good news is that rear end problem that they thought they had certainly went away when they were able to put a brand new General Tire on the left rear. They spun away, though, and realized that the front hood pin in the front left, up by where his vision is, right behind the steering wheel, in front of it rather, was loose. So good news is that
How could they not tell that? I said that before he even spun, that the left rear of the hood was coming up.
Two lug nuts, which were missing.
It looked to me like he'd gotten into the back of somebody and it like crunched the hood up. They didn't realize that until he had left the pit box?
In the black number 2 and the 24 of Ryan Unzicker will lead them back to the green flag again. Look at that second row though, Jim Trado. Ty Gibbs on the inside in the black 18, the point leader, with title contender Corey Heim with that damaged nose piece.
And green flag is back out once again.
On the restart thus far, the initial restart, the second caution out underway.
Lewis is going to quickly clear into turn 1. Back to the lead. Ty Gibbs maybe taking a peek for second on Unzicker. Jesse quickly coming back through the pack again. Is he a lap down? I think he is a lap down. But he should be the free pass at the break in like 10 laps.
A lot of work being done. We caught it during the commercial break, and he returned to the racetrack after he looked over the nose and really wanted to pay attention to the front balance on his number 46. And that team, Bob, came in here just 10 points out of third in the overall owners' point standings. With he and Nick Sanchez,
oh, that's right. Wait, was it? I thought that happened at Kansas when he wrecked Haley. Wasn't that at Kansas?
Plenty of stuff coming off these cars. Take a look at the
I don't remember.
24 for Ryan Unzicker. The side skirt starting to flap in the wind. There is Jesse Love to the inside of Ken Schrader, who's running the 10 for Andy Hillenberg. We go on board with that Richmond Water Heaters camera.
Yes, Landon is leading the ARCA race.
See how low that car got off the Ken Schrader Richmond Water Heater camera. We saw the number 15 of Jesse Love pour it to the bottom. It's really rough down there right now. A lot of work to be done to get that smoothed out by the cars, and it's only going to happen with the cars running that low lap after lap, but a big dip there cost Love some track time.
I think a lot of these drivers just hoping to make it to that first race break at or near lap
I thought
35.
Kansas was before Kentucky, though, because they ran 2 Kansases last year, didn't they?
So Kenny Schrader ran both.
And I thought the first Deegan Dollar incident happened at Kansas.
Until he ran at Springfield, surprised himself by winning the pole, but he kind of settled into 8th. He only led a lap in that race, Bob, the last time that Schrader was in an ARCA car. So there's a lot to maneuver here with these 3,300-pound cars around the racetrack. We see that the track's holding up pretty well. I think I just might have seen some debris from just one of those side skirts that flew off on the racetrack.
Well, that white side skirt on the 24 is still flapping there. You see it for Ryan Unzicker. Behind him, though, is Ty Gibbs in the 18. Those 9 wins this year for Ty Gibbs. An incredible performance for him. That's more.
Dude, this track is eating these cars alive, literally.
A single season in the last decade, Ty Dillon, Austin Terrio.
I don't remember this race being this,
But here is the tale of the tape with the guy
having this much attrition before, to the cars specifically. Like, look at the bumps that Ty just went over in 1 and 2. It's like this track is just coming apart.
All the bonus points available. Neither point contender tonight has led a lap, which is a point. Neither won the General Tire pole, which is a point. And I don't know if
Was it October? I thought it was the first Kansas race.
Gibbs and Heim are racing in 3rd and 4th throughout the early portion of this race.
There hasn't been many races where Ty Gibbs has not led a lap. On the other hand, we expected...
Dude, that is one messed up looking 20 car.
He's just saving his stuff, even with that damage on the front nose piece. Corey Heim running inside the top 5, but, you know, if you looked at how good that team was at Springfield, a lot of people thought he would set sail again tonight.
And
yeah.
no doubt they made some changes in the car, went through the car. This track drives a bit differently. These track conditions may have thrown everybody for a loop, and whoa, big sky there.
Ooh.
Corey Heim really hit a clump in a big way.
A hop, skip, and a jump.
This track,
running in 4th at the point.
How is this track in racing condition? They're catching air on a dirt track by themselves, not even from a wreck. What is happening right now?
The nose caught. The nose caught Bob. He got into the corner, full load, got in. And
Corey literally just hit a clump of track and just goes whoop. Like literally took air for a second. And I think he's overheating now. He's pushing water out.
Let's check it out one more time to see exactly what you saw when
this race is a mess.
Slow-mo down here.
What is happening with this track?
This might be a nomination for the Reese's Sweet Move of the race. And there, wow, he got airborne, did Corey Heim, after hitting that nose piece into the racing surface.
And we see some white smoke coming out of the right side of the windshield at the base. That's the overflow tube. He did something to the radiator and the cooling system. That car is overheating right now.
This race right here, open. He's coming to pit road. This race right here is where Corey Heim loses the championship. I'm calling it right now. Because this was going to be the race that he was going to make up some points. And after Milwaukee, this is... I don't know how he recovers from this. I really don't. This race is becoming a meme. You're right, Dibslin.
So let's take a lap down. We might get a lucky dog, might get a free pass, get back into contention here, but
Corey believes he can fly. He can touch the sky.
Letting a lot of dirt in the air inlet as well.
What's going on, Dave?
Don't just listen to the racing electronics scanner. Corey Heim talking things over with Shannon Rush after hitting that bump and that unbelievable replay we just saw here. Suddenly the temperature inside of that car skyrocketing upwards of 300 degrees, pushing 290, 295.
You know, you have to feel bad for Corey because it's not like it's anything he or the team did that's going to take him out of this, ultimately. It's a track that's not even really in racing condition, yet we're putting on a race.
The crew member engaged the hoses, and you can see it just wiggle. So big time problems.
It's like how Self lost the title at Gateway. Yep.
Shannon Rush coming off of the pit box. Major problems for title contender.
Do my favorite Dance Moms movie. I've never watched Dance Moms, and I don't plan on it. Alright, so that changes things up a bit. I like how they just went to break. I flip over to timing and scoring, and we're under caution for the break. So I don't know why they couldn't wait until the break happened to do a break, but lap 36, under the first break, Landon Lewis still your leader, Unzicker second, Ty Gibbs third, Taylor Gray's up to fourth, Will Kimmel fifth, Kenny Schrader is sixth, Jesse Love seventh, Tony Breidinger 8th, Tim Monroe 9th, and Corey is currently scored in the 10th position. So this just changed some things. This just changed a lot of things. The Mickey Mouse hot dog dance? I don't know that one. Which track is worse? Knoxville and the trucks were there. Well, okay. The track condition of this race is much worse than Knoxville was. There was nothing wrong with the track at Knoxville. It was the drivers in that race turning it into a demolition derby. This, the drivers aren't really doing anything wrong. In fact, the drivers, for the most part, are doing great. The track is literally coming apart underneath them, and we're just running this race like nothing's wrong. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this. This is weird. And it's been like this since lap 1, and we keep having these issues, and we're just going to keep running the race. No issues whatsoever. The track just took Corey Heim out of the championship, and we're just going to keep running this race just like nothing's wrong. I feel a rant coming on in the Rewind show tonight. I'm not hating your track, Moffat Cast. In fact, I said the track itself wasn't the problem. It wasn't a good race, but it wasn't the track's fault. A good track, but not when the tracks go there. Oh, so we had a big track meeting of all the tracks at Knoxville. I didn't realize Knoxville was the epicenter of the United Association of Auto Racing Tracks. The UART. We just made a new thing tonight. The UART, United Association of Auto Racing Tracks. Oh, welcome back, Ashton.
Under the first race break in the Southern Illinois 100.
The problem is I don't think it's going to redeem itself. And again, the track has nothing to redeem. The series is what needs to do the redeeming. And I don't think they're going to redeem themselves if they go back. 100 laps tonight, Earl, and we're currently at lap 36 under the break. There's a piece of fender embedded in the track that somebody just literally pulled out of the dirt. It was literally lodged in the dirt. And we're just running this race like nothing's wrong.
Because a lot of them need a lot of adjustments. We saw Taylor Gray's car. Looked like he'd been through a war and got back. Mad Max movies come to mind here.
You're right, they have invoked the wrath of Garth.
We haven't been to DuQuoin in 2 years. Christian Eckes.
We're under break, Ashton, the first break.
A couple of years ago. Let's take a look at what occurred here in 2019. Last year, the ARCA Series not coming to DuQuoin because of the pandemic, so we're excited about coming back to the
Who's on the board?
This year.
Well, clearly I'm the president.
Veteran Ken Schrader on
Garth, have mercy on your souls. It is. It really is. Like, we've had some stupid things happen in ARCA races this year, but this might be taking the cake right now. This might be taking the cake. Oh, hey, there's when Kitty won the pole for this race in 2019. We didn't have these issues in 2019.
Plenty of battles throughout this one, but there, the number 16 of Kovsky gets by, and what a race it was here for Ken Schrader. Right now, Schrader running in 6th.
A lot of crews getting a lot of attention paid here. We're taking a peek in on Corey Hines.
Who's the top 10 in this race, Ashton? Didn't I just go over that a minute ago? Anyway, Landon Lewis is your leader. He's led every lap so far. Ryan Unzicker 2nd. Ty Gibbs 3rd. Taylor Gray 4th. Will Kimmel 5th. Ken Schrader 6th. Jesse Love 7th. Tony Breidinger 8th. Tim Monroe 9th. And Corey Heim, after his little flight excursion a minute ago, is currently 10th and subsequent overheating. Because we're now running a rallycross race with joker laps with jumps on them, is essentially what this track is now. Whose birthday? Oh, yeah, that's right, it's MAVTV's birthday. Happy birthday, MAVTV. You want to team up and lay Earth to chat. Sure. Sounds like a great time. You know what? At the rate we're going, if he can survive to the end of it and not take a joker lap like Corey just did, I could see Kenny finishing top 5 at this rate. I don't know. In fact, he climbed back to 4th because he went back to like 8th after running into Jesse Love. And somehow he's back to 4th now, so I don't know. I've lost track of what's happening in this race at this point. This race is something else. Well, I hope Corey has a pilot's license at this point. Yeesh. This is something else. Wheelman Gray. He's something. I mean, he has done a lot of questionable things so far, but I don't think there's any denying that if he can rein in the questionable things he's done on the track, he's definitely got talent. He's got a lot of it. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool to see Unzicker win again? That would mean he's now won both dirt races if he could do it tonight. Although I'd really like to see Landon Lewis win. Although I have no idea how I'd get in contact with him for an interview. But that's a bridge I'll cross after the race.
Some fans probably having a good time on the Ferris wheel today. I still have not seen Jim Trado get up there. Maybe Landon Lewis did. He's certainly having a good time in this race as the leader after winning the General Tire Pole Award. Let's have a listen and try to talk
The
to Landon
executive
Lewis.
director of rules. Yes.
Instruction now because this is the first
I think
time
you'd be
you'll
great at
racing
that,
and
Earl.
Restart after a race break. Landon, as you get in position, just a quick word here from
Oh,
the
does
MAVTV
Dibslin want
radio.
that job?
What is this first part
Fight.
of the race been
Fight
like, and
for
what
it.
did your team do? Your nose looks pretty clean compared to the
No,
others.
ARCA should not have a playoffs.
He worked so hard today. We've got a good fast race car. Just trying to keep our nose clean and get to these rough spots of the truck. Just trying to finish out this race strong as we have.
How rough is the racetrack?
On a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 5. It's pretty rough in certain areas.
How important has Ken Schrader been?
I think that's
for
being
work, and
generous.
How important is Austin Terrio, who's won on the dirt?
As he
and won
bounces
over
through turn
the
3.
And you get through this one?
Very huge. Help me here at the racetrack and at home.
Hey, we wish you well in this.
Again.
Keep it clean. Nice job so far.
We're talking to Landon Lewis. How cool has it been to have Ken Schrader in this race?
Just going through the motions.
Why are we pushing... Like, I get it. I think it's great that Ken Schrader's in this race, but why are we pushing that so hard?
He won that season, so it's great to have that surrounding him, as well as Ken Schrader on the speed dial this week.
Meanwhile, the championship complexion changing here for
Yes, I think we would all like to see Landon win.
Dave with Dave.
And no doubt, Bob, this is
Yes, you can, No Tires.
Everybody in the Venturini Motorsports team. This team continues to work on this car. The
Cage.
impact so severe when they bottomed out.
Corey's back on pit road with the hood up.
The radiator back. It knocked off virtually every belt that is on this car, and it's got a water pump belt, it's got a power steering belt, an oil pump, the alternator. This team, though, continues to work with only 15 cars still in competition, and crazier things have happened. They definitely want to try to salvage everything they can and try to not let this point deficit get to be too big, but it is not looking
But
good.
going back to the ARCA should have a playoffs. No, ARCA should not have a playoffs. One, ARCA has good championship battles without playoffs. Second, there's not even enough full-time drivers to have a realistic playoff. How are you going to have a playoff with 2 full-time drivers? How is that even... What?
Able to save it, and therefore, I believe that's a nomination for the Reese's Sweet Move of the race.
Just to keep it out of the guardrail, it's amazing.
The treasurer.
Think about that abrupt stop.
Sure, yes, you can be the treasurer,
Just breaks
Dibslin.
free for a moment. That's kind of scary, and keeping the wheel straight. Absolutely.
How close is the cup race to
The
done?
Reese's Sweet Move of the race.
I remember Jack Beckman, NHRA racer, telling me, when you see sky, that's a bad thing.
Are we restarting single file?
Corey Heim saw tonight here at DuQuoin. Coming to the restart, 37 laps into
We're
this
restarting
one.
single file.
Now after the first race break, and Landon Lewis, that
Okay.
14-year-old, sees the green again.
Interesting. Landon Lewis already out by 4 or 5 car lengths into turn 1.
Outside, Taylor Gray.
Taylor Gray went a little too wide trying to get 3rd from Ty Gibbs. Slots right back into 4th.
Goodness, did he pour it in there? Great job saving it himself. He got way up in the loose stuff.
The General Tire onboard camera for Will Kimmel running in 5th. There is the 18 of Ty Gibbs to the inside. Battle for position right here. Championship leader Ty Gibbs to the inside of
They
Ryan
had the
Hunziker.
full banner
Took
last year,
the
didn't they?
second.
And it was just a different color. Wasn't it white last year?
A lot of damage on these cars. They got the noses clean. All they did on Ty Gibbs' car is clean up the grill and got the Toyota logo.
Ty Gibbs inside Hunziker looking for 2nd. He's looking to capitalize on Corey's issues. Corey has retired. They have him officially out on the ticker. Scored an 11th. Looks like Tony Breidinger is also out. Ty Gibbs, though, takes 2nd, looking to capitalize and get as many points as possible and try and close out this championship as quickly as possible. I guarantee you that's what he's thinking right now.
Build a nice lead. We've got 3 more races after this one to really kind of work the season, but in reality, Ty Gibbs wants to win every race. He wants to lead every lap.
Take a look at the right front.
Well, I hope so, Dibslin.
That 18 has a little damage to the front nose piece. I'm told that Corey Heim, that 20 machine, is back out on the racetrack. But take a look
Oh,
at that.
never mind. Corey's back out.
Surface.
Then don't put him out on your ticker.
So will that become a factor?
Out means out.
For Corey Heim.
A lot of damage that came
If he's not officially retired, put off. That's how that works, MAVTV.
Very saturated throughout yesterday and today. Now we see the track maybe taking its toll as it gets warning. These cars keep continuing to pound it. We saw Jesse Love early on.
Jesse's up to P6 around Kenny Schrader.
Pitching that car sideways, left rear went on his car. So as these cars making their way around the racetrack, this track's taking some bites back on these race cars.
And as these two have gone toe to toe, it is a
You know, at this point, I really actually do hope that would be true, no tires. I really do. This is a joke at this point.
Testing the high line right there. You saw him go to the bottom in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. He's searching lines right now. That's such a great move on his part. Where can I go? How did Ty get me? Where can I get in position?
Yeah, round of 16 elimination with 2 full-time drivers. Dude, Taylor is way up in the loose stuff. I don't think that's going to work for you, buddy.
Will Kimmel's first laps in this car were in qualifying. A single lap in qualifying to line him up in the top 6. We were along with Will here, trying to get underneath in position. Will's got 10 starts here and finished second here in 2018, so he knows exactly what he needs to do over the course of 100 laps here on this dirt track.
Will is a pavement racer by trade, but he said he's really gotten to love the dirt track racing in ARCA.
I don't know who they would actually get to replace MAVTV if they wanted to. MAVTV doesn't pay anything for these races.
And other drivers have come forward and said, we want to run some races, and this team's not able to put together funding for Will to drive. But Will knows so much about these race cars. He actually shook down his primary car at the home of the World Figure 8 Championships, close to his home near Louisville, Kentucky, and that was this week. But getting this car prepared, it's all on Will. All on Will and his dad, Bill, getting this car ready. This is their backup car, running in the top 5 here at this dirt race. It means so much for Will to get behind the wheel after that great run at Springfield 2 weeks ago.
Daniel Dye, the winner at Berlin, just texting me, talking about that big piece of debris that we saw in turn number 3. Was wondering if that might have been the piece that came off of Corey Heim's race car in the 20.
It'd be the belly pan under the radiator if it was. It looked to me like it was more rectangular.
I think Jesse has a flat tire again. He's really wiggling a lot and slow on the backstretch.
Spikes and took some bite out of these jump tire driver tires as it went around.
We're hoping to see kids like Daniel Dye full time in the ARCA Racing.
I like how they've got the camera on him, clearly with issues, and they haven't said a word about it.
Number 21, but Daniel Dye, one of the true good kids, and really now going to be a contender in every race he runs here in ARCA.
And based upon age, he and Jesse Love, we hope to see more often in ARCA Racing Series.
It doesn't have
turning
dirt
18
on
years
it.
of age. Jesse just 16. And Daniel's right there with him. He's got to wait a while until he turns 18 in December, so there's a lot of time and a lot of things to develop and go forward with these young, talented drivers making their way through the ARCA Racing Series, a true NASCAR development series.
Well, Jesse seems to have gotten back up to speed. I don't know what the deal was there for a minute, though. Because he was definitely off the pace and wiggling back and forth like he thought he had a flat tire again.
Maybe have an adult beverage and just listen to the two of them tell stories all night long.
Schrader's humor, though, you really got to stand and listen because he gets those little quirky, smirky things in there, and you're like, what did he just say?
What's a bit rude? What did I say, Dibslin?
Just drives. This is natural ability. He's been doing it forever. He won the USAC Silver Crown Championship in
All right, see you, no tires.
Okay, he was a NASCAR Cup Series Rookie of the Year in 1985, so his dirt roots really got him to racing in NASCAR full time. Then we got to see him on a bunch of Sundays over the course of time, racing for some really storied owners over 30-some years in racing.
And there's only a few drivers that have completed the triple here during this race weekend at DuQuoin, and Ken Schrader is going to accomplish that this weekend. He's running tonight in the ARCA Racing Series. Tomorrow he will run in the Modified Series as well as the USAC Silver Crown.
So I learned of his ability to race here at DuQuoin with Andy Hillenberg a couple weeks back at Iowa Speedway, and I saw him there. He was part of the autograph session for the drivers that were there as part of the festivities at the track, and I said, can we talk about you racing the Silver Crown car at DuQuoin and the ARCA car? He said, don't talk about the Silver Crown car because I still have to race Springfield, and if I get fired out of the Silver Crown car, I can't tell you I'm racing all 3. So wait till after Springfield. If I don't get fired, which you did not, he then said, now you can talk about me racing the Silver Crown car at DuQuoin.
We mentioned Ken Schrader, a 3-time winner in ARCA at DuQuoin. A lot of stock car races here at DuQuoin over the years, shared by both the ARCA Menard Series as well as the old USAC Stock Car Series. Take a look at some of these notable winners. Ken Schrader, of course, on that list. Chris Buescher.
Oh, apparently I did.
Rusty Wallace. And how about A.J. Foyt back in 1969?
And Rusty Wallace is a St. Louis native. It was a big deal to race on this mile dirt track, and he was a really big stud in the USAC days when it came to racing against Dick Trickle and Butch Hartman and all the stars that would race in USAC and ARCA co-sanctioned races when it got to the late 70s, early 80s. So to see them progress, and then you see a name like A.J. Foyt in this race, Schrader said it right, man. This track was part of the championship trail for Indy cars when it was one series. You had to win on dirt, you had to win on pavement, and, on asphalt, and you also had to win on road courses to win an IndyCar title. So that's one thing AJ said recently in an interview. Foyt said, man, I'd love to see...
It's a lot of laps, Robert.
...part of a championship. He understands times have changed, cars have changed, but in reality, racing here at this racetrack helped those drivers become household names when they got to race at Indianapolis.
Halfway through the Southern Illinois 100 at DuQuoin, and that will allow us to take a look at the Richmond Water Heaters mid-race recap. On the pole, Landon Lewis, Ryan Unzicker in the 24 alongside.
Well, while they're doing a recap, currently lap 52, lap 70 will be the next break. Landon Lewis has led every lap so far. Ty Gibbs is second, Ryan Unzicker third, Taylor Gray fourth, Jesse Love is up to fifth, Will Kimmel sixth, Ken Schrader seventh, Tim Monroe eighth, Zach Tinkle ninth, and Corey Heim is back up to 10th.
I think that might be the radiator pan underneath what was the 20 nose. And Corey Heim's team spent several laps in the pits. Championship contender heading into this one, racing back on the racetrack. They did the repairs, but he's back in the 10th position, 6 laps down.
51 laps into this race, only one leader. That is that 15-year-old Landon Lewis in the 2.
I would not expect that. If you were to have money or odds on this race saying Landon Lewis is going to lead every lap, to this point in the race, I'd say you're crazy.
I did pick him for the pole.
Yeah, you did. We were watching qualifying intently because the track again was reworked right before we went General Charpo qualifying this afternoon. Modifieds are on the racetrack, then we regroomed it and got to racing here tonight under the lights.
Ryan Unzicker stalking Ty Gibbs for second.
Boy, look at the sheer damage the racetrack has punished these noses on these cars. How long can that composite body last, and how long can these pans stay underneath these cars? These guys are going at it. Unzicker's really putting forth an effort. Last time we checked it on his car, he was running behind Ty Gibbs, but now he's in his tire tracks, and look at the damage on both cars' noses. Straight up, packed with.
And that's what every one of these cars looks like. Just straight caked with dirt across the nose, and the splitter is just gone, or whatever. Most of these I don't think actually had a splitter to begin with, since it's the dirt car, but the whole, like, bumper is just twisted and mangled on every car from just slamming up and down on the track from all these bumps. All of these cars look destroyed.
Over, even though Landon Lewis has dominated this one.
Stalking Gibbs.
A very tough racetrack tonight here in DuQuoin, Illinois.
I mean, outside of the track being torn up, there's really not much happening in this race. Once we get past a restart, everybody gets strung out, and there's literally no racing happening. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on here. Unless something weird happens, I mean, well, and the thing is, in this race, something weird could happen, given the condition of the track, but if everything stays status quo for the rest of this race, Landon Lewis is on his way to a win. Is there a way you think racing could get back to where talent mattered instead of equipment and money? That's a good question. I don't know. I think we're too far down that rabbit hole at this point. Because if you took the money thing out of the equation, I don't think the sport could survive at this point. It's so dependent on sponsorship money that if you completely took out that aspect, I think the entire sport would probably fold at this point, because it wouldn't know how to go back to the old ways of teams going out and looking for sponsors, because that's just not the model now, and teams aren't really equipped to do that anymore. And if it just all of a sudden you flipped a light switch and went back to that, most of these teams now, I don't think would be able to do that, and they just end up folding. I really wish it would go back to that, but I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, you mean like SRX, Dibslin, or the series that can't be named in NASCAR's presence?
The dirt of DuQuoin taking out some top competitors tonight. The latest, the 15 of Jesse Love. The hood is
Well,
up.
Jesse Love's on pit road. That's all of Venturini having issues tonight.
Come back here in Springfield, guys. Jesse Love on pit road again. Kevin Reed, his crew chief, has just made the call. Their day is officially done. It was a car that started to slow down a little bit. Jesse complaining of some power steering issues going away. The next time it came by, there was
Car does matter way too much.
They brought it in, hooked up the cooling unit, and then of course picked up the hood and started to assess
Which
the damage. And that's when Kevin Reed from the top of the box just looked
lends more to pay drivers, because if the car matters more than the driver, then it doesn't completely matter how much talent they have in certain situations. Talent will always trump everything else, but I don't know. Will Kimmel, also on pit road, looks to be overheating. This is going to be survival of the fittest. Who can get the least amount of air and not knock the radiator out by the end of this race?
He overheated here 2 races ago. Last time we raced here, Bobby, had overheating issues as well. Again, those opportunities. This team did a lot of work on getting their front nose clean and clear.
Well, yeah, definitely that stuff needs to go away. I don't know that there's any question about that, Dibslin. Well, this moves Kenny Schrader into the top 5. I mean, there's only 5 cars left on the lead lap at this point. Literally, the only cars left on the lead lap are Landon Lewis, Ryan Unzicker, Ty Gibbs, Taylor Gray, and Kenny Schrader. That's all we've got left that hasn't had an issue. What is this race? This isn't even a race at this point. This is just survival. I don't understand.
Here's what had happened with the 24 with this auto park it replay, moving to the inside of Ty Gibbs and grabbing that second position back.
Wow, what a great camera view from the opposite side of the track. Looking through the infield, through everything in the infield. Yeah, that was good job, MAVTV.
I think I can run a better run, better line, and now look at him pulling away in second.
Hey, Dave Reed, how disappointing
Yep,
is Jesse Love?
you're not wrong, Robert.
I think you can see the look on his face pretty much says it all, but tell me that it wasn't for lack of trying.
Jesse is out of the car.
You guys worked your tails off. I can't hear you. I said you guys worked your tails off. It wasn't not for a lack of trying.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nothing really went too right. Practice, we were the fastest car. And hit a piece of lead and then tore the nose off, radiator off, tore a bunch of stuff. I had to fix that, so I didn't get to qualify. Started the tail. Made up a few spots. And then,
He's fighting with car noise all around him.
came back down, went a lap down, got our lap back, and then went to the fastest car on the racetrack for the last, 5 or 6 laps, and I figured a few things out, and we ran over another piece of what I assume is lead again, so just nothing you can really do about days like that. The core thing has been really fast toward camera tonight. Some bad luck. It's pretty crazy sometimes.
Bad luck indeed for Jesse Love tonight at DuQuoin. I'm wondering about Unzicker. He has not really
Okay, just
charged.
on a bigger
He didn't
scale.
really put pressure on Lewis. We're all thinking that
Well,
Lewis is just so good. He's driving away from everybody.
Don't be
But
too
Unzicker
surprised when
has been saving his stuff, and does he have a shot at this
2024 happens.
to the latter
That's all I'll
stages
say
of
to
this
that.
race?
And this is what Ryan Unzicker does. Bill Hendren's been around racing for a long time. Has been racing at Springfield on dirt mountain since 1974. DuQuoin's been part of the...
Tim Monroe is 6th because there's only 8 cars left on the track and only 5 left on the lead lap.
And his 21st start on dirt tracks in the ARCA
That's why Tim Monroe is 6th. At the rate we're going, Tim Monroe is going to get a top 5, which would be incredible.
Straight up recent experience on dirt than any other car in the field and any other driver. And I'm just hoping that nose stays clean, because I'd love to see, as he and Landon, if there's a restart opportunity, I'd love to see what Ryan Unzicker now has mathematically worked out in his own dirt track mind to get in contention and win this thing.
Closing in on about 5 laps prior to the next race break.
Truck Series is super competitive, and Truck Series has really always been super competitive. I mean, for a long time, I've said that the Truck Series is probably the best racing to watch in NASCAR. It's had its stupid moments this year, but I still think on a consistent basis, it's probably the best show to watch in NASCAR. Tim Monroe dub. That would be incredible.
Look at him hit that hole down at turn 4.
Why is this okay? Why are we out here driving on some back road potholey gravel road in middle of nowhere, Illinois? Because that's what this track is right now. I've driven on back roads smoother than this track. Who is okaying this? This race should have been stopped 50 laps ago, and something should have been done to smooth this track out. Because clearly this was not prepped anywhere near where it should have been. Now granted, I don't know everything that I probably should know about dirt tracks. I don't know what kind of prep goes into a dirt track. I don't know what kind of prep would have kept this from happening, but I know there had to be something. Because this track's never been like this before. So clearly something was missed or something was not done, which is giving us some backwater Illinois gravel road to race on. It's basically a rally stage at this point.
Ty has told me back in Springfield, I remember, he's just not a big fan of the dirt because he doesn't know it yet.
You, of course, complete mental breakdown.
Really well at Springfield.
I didn't know there was any mental left up here to break down.
He's been as high as second.
Oh, yes! Yes! Old Atlanta is smoother than this. This is ridiculous.
His teammate in 2019 was Riley Herbst, a good friend of his for many years. Riley actually started the Joe Gibbs Racing ARCA team that he had split time with Ty in 2019. They both ran one dirt race, and Riley flat out said, I hate dirt racing. But he also finished top 10 in that race with Mark Murphy as a crew chief in 2019. So they know how to put a car underneath them. That confidence helps Ty learn his way around very quickly.
I always thought that was funny, Riley Herbst. And, you know, he doesn't like the dirt track racing because his whole family grew up around the trophy trucks out there on the West Coast and the off-road racing. But right now, Landon Lewis holding on, Mark Rett, crew chief for this team, hoping his driver can make it to the end.
I mean, I'll give Landon Lewis credit. If he can, we should be coming up on the break here in about a lap or two. I'll give Landon Lewis credit. If he can finish this out, he's clearly been the fastest car this entire race. Except for maybe Jesse Love, and Jesse never really got the chance to get up there. So, it's not like Landon Lewis is going to back into this because there was nobody left. Landon Lewis has shown he's fast. It's not going to be a fluke win.
And that's a great opportunity for Landon Lewis.
Now,
I mean, he's so young.
We might have one or two drivers that end up in the top 5 on a fluke because there's just nobody left. But Landon Lewis, if he wins this race, is going to legitimately win this race.
And we see what this kid can do in a good ride on the high banks on October 2nd. That's going to be
Old Atlanta had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Landon Lewis wins before Nick Sanchez. Well, this isn't... Technically, I don't think this is a Rev Racing car. I think this is actually a Rhett Jones Racing car. They're just using the 2 number because Sanchez isn't running the dirt races. So they're using the 2 to help Rev in the owner's points, I think is how this is working. Essentially, I think this is actually a Rhett Jones Racing car. So Sanchez isn't completely a good comparison. Alright, under the brake, lap 71. Landon Lewis is your leader and has led every lap. Ryan Hunziker 2nd, Ty Gibbs 3rd, Taylor Gray 4th, Kenny Schrader 5th, Tim Monroe 6th, Corey Heim is back up to 7th, Zach Tinkle 8th, Will Kimmel 9th, and Jesse Love is scored in 10th. Now the interesting thing here is Corey Heim still might be able to pick off another spot or two depending on what happens in this race. So this may not be as bad of a points day for him as it could have been, given that he's still out there on the track. And who knows who else is going to have issues by the end of this race. He might still end up with a top 5 in this. It would not surprise me at this rate. No, the rev cars are not great for the most part. Again, I think it was Robert that pointed out earlier that they've been good on the downforce tracks. So the bigger the track is, generally Sanchez has been pretty good this year. But overall, I mean, it's not winning equipment. It might be if he was in an East race, but when you're out there against Ty Gibbs and Corey Heim, nah, they ain't in winning equipment. Oh, by the way, I just noticed it in the background. I don't think I've showed this to you guys yet. I think I sent a picture in the Discord, but pictures do not do it justice. Look at this beauty. White gold Tasmanian Devil Kevin Harvick from 2001. This thing is gorgeous. Pick this up for $10 at an antique mall on the way to Milwaukee. This thing is gorgeous.
The ARCA Series is under,
and it's a GM dealers exclusive too, which makes it even cooler.
Ferris wheel going on, plenty of other rides and fair food as well. I think Jim Trado got a few corn dogs here today.
You can't go wrong with a fair corn dog, Bob. It's part of the tradition of the
Can't go wrong with a fair corn dog. I think you can go wrong with a fair corn dog.
Here tonight for him, gobbling up the competition so far at DuQuoin.
Not a lot of effort being put forth to keeping that nose clean. Notice how clean that nose is. Got 2 chains on the nose. That's one of the ways to do it. Lug nuts on the very bottom rung. That will then rattle and shake across the screen as the car goes across the racetrack to break free any dirt and debris. So they've elected the lower grill work area there before the air comes in. A lot of different ways to go about it, but that team's not had any worries. They've been behind the pace car all night or clean air in front of them.
Just 3 races to go after this one in the ARCA Series season. Next up, Bristol Motor Speedway. You'll be able to watch that race live on FS1. That one will be a
corn dog
as well.
A Sioux Chief Showdown race as well as the season finale for the ARCA Series East. We expect a big field of cars. And I love the fact that that high bank racetrack is going to be on the same night as the NASCAR Truck Series race. And, oh, by the way, Sam Mayer won the Sioux Chief Showdown last year. He won the race at Bristol, and he won the truck race that night. So anything could happen at Bristol.
This is true. Anything can happen at Bristol.
Apples, cotton candy,
now you're making me
popcorn. Yes, I am starving up here in the booth at DuQuoin. We'll be headed to the fair.
I do kind of wish I was there just to get some fair food.
Plenty to go. Landon Lewis, who is he? We'll find
is
out
it sad that that's the biggest draw for me right now? I wouldn't want to go to see this back road Illinois race, but I would, the bumpy gravel road, but I would go for some fair food. That sounds like a good idea. I wonder if all that stuff would still be open after the race. Because it's what now? Well, I guess it's only 9:30 there. I don't know how late. How late does fair stuff usually stay open? It's been forever since I've been to a fair and like actually done anything at a fair. I mean, I went to Springfield DuQuoin in 2018 and 2019, but I didn't really do anything at the fair. I just went to the race and went home. I don't know how late those usually stay open. This has been something else, though. I'll tell you what. I feel a rant coming on in the Rewind show. Maybe it's a good thing they ran this during the Cup race, so not hardly anybody saw this. Tinkle time in P8. Ugh. You know, to be fair, this Landon doesn't even spell his name the same way our Landon does, so... You know, there is that. No guy from Chicago who talks so much. Illinois, yeah. Huh? Oh, Illinois. I get it now. It took me a second. I was so confused. See, like, if you had been right here and, like, physically telling me that, I think the joke would have hit better, but me actually reading it and not knowing what I'm reading, that would be why it didn't hit. Because I read it wrong.
Fresh hot funnel cakes at the DuQuoin.
Oh, good. We're still talking fair food.
The ARCA Series live here in Illinois.
They have different flavors.
Funnel cakes do sound good.
Get a cinnamon raisin.
How do you know this?
I walk by every window to look.
There are two drivers hungry for the win tonight. Let's get an update with Dave.
Well, certainly one of those is our 15-year-old 10th grader, Landon Lewis, whose crew chief, Fred Jones, has basically been doing more cheerleading than anything else. I asked him about his race car tonight. He says being up front has been a godsend. He says the only thing we've done is change our each of the race brakes by 1/8 of an inch to make the car more drivable. From there, he says, I'm just trying to keep my kid calm and keep him doing exactly what he's been doing.
Garth, be slow. Yeah, I never claimed to be fast. You've seen me race.
Like everybody else, temperature starting
yes, slow would be a good word for that.
Car was something else that was in consideration. And then simply the fact that Ryan says, well, listen, I can't turn into the corner.
All right, well, we're queuing up again on the backstretch.
He says, our best shot of winning this thing is to actually come in and give me a better handling race car.
So Lewis and Unzicker, the top two. Gibbs, Gray in the top 5. And then 5th place is Ken Schrader.
Yeah, it's
Jim,
something.
Let's get one of those stories with Ken.
Ken Schrader, Jim Trado, the MAVTV booth.
Oh, now we're talking to Ken Schrader in the car.
I heard Jeff McClure talking about tire pressures. What have you got for these youngsters over these next 30 laps?
Well, they don't like the last 70, Jim. Not a lot. But I want to really thank Andy and the fast track crew because this thing, we just been tight, but it bounced through these little character that this track has tonight. It's been a lot of fun.
So this young driver you've been tutoring, Landon Lewis, you told him about this track might
Hamlin
be a little bit
wins.
rough to get around. How are the track conditions for you, and are you regretting what you may have taught this young driver who's led this race a bunch?
Yeah, well, it's just, what the deal is we have got so spoiled by Track Enterprises races at Springfield and DuQuoin because the tracks are always like flat. Well, guess what? We got a dirt track tonight, so it's fine.
Schrader, thanks. Have fun. Good luck.
We got a dirt track tonight here for the
I mean,
Series. Ken Schrader running in 5th.
I get where Kenny is coming from. We got a dirt track tonight. I get it. But that works better when your car doesn't have fenders. And you don't bounce the fender on the ground into the radiator. I mean, this works for normal dirt cars. These stock cars are not built for a track like this.
You mentioned getting spoiled by Track Enterprises. Bob Sargent was out of the grader many times today. He wants this track to be right. That smoothest glass situation, he's right. We've been spoiled. To see how this track lays out and plays out, though, Ryan Unzicker is going to figure a way to challenge this young driver for the victory. I think Unzicker right now is maybe playing a little game. Maybe he nudged him here on this pace lap. Maybe he's got a little something in store for this young driver in the 2.
You were concerned about Sargent earlier. You thought he was a little loose out there in the muck earlier on.
He almost got the grader in the guardrail. Yes, I said a swear word. I'm like, oh boy, here he goes.
Oh no, not Jim Trado. Come on. All right, let's set things up. Less than 30 laps to go. Landon Lewis.
All right, well, let's get these last about 25 laps in now. See how many other cars we can get radiators torn out of.
Trying to hunt him down and take the lead. Ty Gibbs, the point leader, in 3rd for this restart.
Getting the green flag here, Bob. It's going to be an ultimate restart, single file here going into turn 1, and we'll see
an ultimate restart.
He has thus far tonight.
Schrader looking at the top 4 in front of him. That black 46 is Taylor Gray. Gray trying to work to the inside of Ty Gibbs. Almost gets up alongside of Ty Gibbs. coming off of turn number 2, has to back out. Remember what Taylor Gray told all of us earlier today. At some point, he's just going to send it, baby.
He's in that Mad Max DGR4, number 46. That car looks a whole lot different than the way this race started.
And Landon Lewis is gone again.
To get in contention here, he's sitting back in the 4th spot. You see the nose all torn up, taped up.
Everybody's nose is all torn up. That's what this track is doing tonight. Yes, Landon has led every lap so far.
Had the problems after launching that car. They came on pit road, made repairs, and now Corey Heim running in 7th, 6 laps down. If something happens to Tim Monroe in the 0-1, who is 2 laps down, he can gain another valuable point.
And really getting out there and putting the laps in, finishing this race. We saw the racetrack, it took its toll. Will Kimmel out of it, Jesse Love out of it, Tony Breidinger overheating issues out of it, Owen Smith out of it, Brad Smith behind the wall. There's a lot of cars that were going to be racing on this track. Every one of those cars that fell out is another point, so they need to put this time in. And Heim by running 7th, and Ty Gibbs running 3rd right now. That's a 4-point difference. Could have been a whole lot worse for Heim with that early damage and came down to pit road.
It really could have been.
And had spent 6 laps.
And he's actually pretty fast right now. I mean, he's actually passing Taylor Gray. Not for position, but he's passing Taylor on the track right now. So if Corey was on the lead lap, he could still be fairly competitive in this. At least competitive to the point of racing Ty for 3rd, I think. I don't know that he could do much more than that, but that's the tough position that Corey is in, and that is the tough position that we're in with the track we were given tonight. Yes, Landon is gone. It's Landon gone. Welcome back, Robert. Dipslin and his dad jokes. I think Corey might actually be faster than Ty right now, too. It's very unfortunate that he is 6 laps down.
This could be big in the championship quest, because Ty Gibbs running in 3rd could really take advantage on a racetrack that we thought Corey Heim was going to be able to turn things around and going after that lead in the point standings. And by the way, we saw Christian Eckes by the 15 team of Jesse Love a little bit earlier when Jesse Love came onto pit road. He is technically the defending winner of this race. He won here 2 years ago. We didn't race here, and now he's standing by with Dave.
Oh, Eckes.
The man who made a little DuQuoin magic in 2019 back. Also saw you in Springfield. What brings you back? Just the love of the dirt track or what?
I guess I'm just that guy that comes to the racetrack trying to sub, and then everybody just magically shows up or feels better. But I'm having a good time out here. Telling a lot of old stories. I've been hanging out with my crew this whole time from back in 2019 and talking about how good we used to be. So they can't it's having fun. It's been a rough day. It has. It's been a very, very rough day. But I got faith in Corey. We got a couple races to go, and hopefully we'll get in there.
So, would you want to be out
Can't
there
even
tonight
hear
based on
Christian.
everything you've seen? Try to go back to back here at DuQuoin.
The track preparation has been no comment. A lot of torn up race cars for no reason, but it is what it is.
At the end of the day, it is very good to see the 2019 champ here, the man who wanted to quit it. Why he mentioned the sub roll was actually in Springfield in case Jesse Love wasn't able to make it from that West race. And then earlier today, Tony Breidinger a little bit under the weather, so he jumped the airplane, came out just in case relief driver was needed for Tony.
Christian telling it how it is.
Nice to see Christian Eckes. By the way, think about the rain that this area.
Corey has passed Ty on the track. Corey may actually be the fastest car out there right now. It's too bad he's 6 laps down. Under 20 to go. But yes, you're right, Barney. Unzicker's only about a second and a half back.
Way back. That was 2 years ago. Back in his teenage years. Oh, now running in the NASCAR.
Well, MAVTV needs to do them. ARCA doesn't have anything to do with those. That's one thing you can't fault ARCA for. ARCA has no control over what MAVTV is doing for the most part. But yes, Dave Reef definitely needs to go deeper into the infield. He's literally standing behind the pit boxes. Of course there's going to be a bunch of car noise. This is a mile track. I've been to DuQuoin. I know there's plenty of room in the infield. It's not that hard to walk a little further out into the infield, a little closer to the pond out in the middle, to deaden that car noise a little bit. Anyway, since we're under break, working lap 83. Landon Lewis again has led every lap so far. Ryan Unzicker second, 1.8 seconds back. Ty Gibbs third, Taylor Gray fourth, Kenny Schrader fifth, Tim Monroe sixth, Corey Heim seventh, Zach Tinkle eighth, Will Kimmel ninth, and Jesse Love in 10th. You know, what wouldn't surprise me? I wouldn't put it past Venturini Motorsports, and again, I wouldn't even blame them for doing this. In going over and trying to cut a deal with Fast Track to have Tim Monroe pull off the track so Corey can get another spot. And again, I wouldn't blame them for that, given that every point does matter. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but it also wouldn't surprise me. Barney! Dibslin! Well, we're nearing the end of this survival of the fittest race. I'm just going to call this the survival of the fittest 100 because that's what this became. Survival of the strongest cars. I really would like to see what could have happened if A, Corey hadn't knocked the radiator out, and B, Jesse hadn't knocked the radiator out, because I think they both actually could have competed for the win. Corey is legit fast right now. Is he now?
The gap has shrunk down to just under a second and a half, just about a lap ago.
Are you sure about that, Bob? Because according to timing and scoring, Unzicker is 2.8 seconds back right now. So I don't know what you're looking at, Bob, but I don't think Unzicker is catching him. You know, I think this probably will be the only race where they don't lead a lap.
And that gap that we saw, a full straightaway, and
this race has been a dud.
The top two leads us back to the championship leader, Ty Gibbs in the 18. He is behind Landon Lewis by almost 15 seconds on this mile racetrack. So that huge gap. There is the 24 of Unzicker, the blue machine. And then look, nobody. It's a sea of openness until we get back to the 18 of Ty Gibbs. And he has the opportunity now with under 15 to go to win this CGS Imaging 4-Crown Championship, the first championship within the ARCA Menard Series.
So Zach Tinkle looks like he has parked it now as well, so it looks like he's going to be 8th. Which means Corey can't get any worse than 7th at this point.
Really cool. Pick a big track, pick a road course, pick a small, short track like Winchester, pick a dirt mile, and see who's the best of the 4. And right now, Ty Gibbs is proving that once again. He won those 3 races already this year. He's racing with Corey Heim on the racetrack, but Corey Heim's not on the same lap, so Corey's got up to now in position. He's passed 3 more cars since the last caution flag run, so albeit 6 laps down, Heim's got some good speed here.
Corey Heim did have an opportunity to take over the top spot in the championship in the CGS Imaging 4-Crown coming into this race. With his problems, that evaporated. And now, after winning the first few races of the CGS Imaging 4-Crown, Ty Gibbs won't be perfect, but he'll still be a champion this year in this series.
Ty Gibbs really needs to keep pace here.
Corey seems to have majorly slowed down now. Ty got back around him, and I'm not sure what the deal is. And here comes Taylor to get around him too.
As Corey Heim's giving the way by, saying, go ahead, go after it, guys. He let Ty Gibbs go by a lap earlier. Gentlemen, they moved by Corey Heim there.
Maybe that's what Corey's thinking, Barney, actually. Slow down. Give Taylor a chance to get up to Ty by the end of it. Oh, Taylor hard in the bump, though.
He went so hard into the corner, he had it turned left.
Maybe that's what he's thinking. Give Taylor a chance to get to Ty, and that works in Corey's favor by Ty losing a point.
So Taylor Gray, let me tell you something. This kid's got a lot of talent. A bunch of consistency for Taylor Gray. Still doesn't have the win, but you gotta think it's coming soon.
And he's gotten the chance to be a finesse driver on the dirt. A lot of these guys have experience on simulators. He got the chance to race an outlaw kart at no.
I think Taylor's going to get there, too. I think Taylor's going to get third.
And Taylor was too young to do anything else. So he's got some time. He's got some feel on the dirt. And it's really been impressive. 2 top 5 finishes the last 2 dirt races for Taylor. You can see how much he's just...
Oh, never mind. He's in the wall.
Taylor Gray couldn't get the car turned. He slapped the wall.
I thought for sure...
Well, so much for Taylor getting third.
The car's way out of shape and the front tires are still looking in different directions.
Sometimes you gotta slow down a little bit. I know Taylor Gray.
He doesn't have to do that.
He doesn't.
Oh, and I think he's going to do it again. Oh, he got close.
Loosen up with the fluff again. Let's take a look at the auto park.
Taylor is wheeling it right now.
For the Reese's sweet move of the race? I don't think so.
He locked down the front wheels to turn. As a matter of fact, when he got in the corner, Bob, the lap prior,
This race is an acid trip, Casey. Oh, my.
Like, oh, this is not going to work this time. Big into the concrete here. Boom.
Locked up the front brakes on that machine, just sliding up into the wall. And I'm not sorry about not nominating that one for a Reese's sweet move of the race.
I'll nominate it for Sweet Move of the Race. I don't know how much input I have in that, but I'll nominate it.
Is that the windshield gone for Taylor Gray?
Hit the wall hard enough, anything could happen. I think the whole chunk of the
Believe
windshield's
it
gone.
is.
Junior Johnson won a race on a dirt track with a big old hole in the windshield.
Wait, really?
Just saw a picture of that.
Hang on, go back to a shot of Taylor's car. Did he really lose a piece of his windshield from that?
Windshield. Meanwhile, nobody
What?
out in front of the windshield of Landon Lewis.
You know, I think Schrader's going to get there.
Him. Remember, this
In fact, he's not far off a tie for third.
series start.
The opportunity is here.
But I think he actually might get Taylor for fourth
Jones
now.
said, let's get this kid some seat time. Ron Hornaday coming to them saying, hey, what
Probably doesn't help that Taylor's now missing part of the windshield, apparently.
This race, they lined up the race at Springfield. Get him comfortable in a dirt car. See what he can do in he's only 15 years of age. And to see how well he's performed here and potentially become the second first-time winner this year, this teenage crop we've got coming through to get their chances in ARCA Menard Series at age 15 and up, man, we're looking at a bright future if this kid can put something together and race here more often. That's Mark Rett right there. He won the championship in 2009 with Justin Lofton as a crew chief.
He's still chilled, anticipating a possible win here, but you can tell, still looking at the time, still checking out what his driver is doing on the racetrack. And this kid from Ocean Isle in the Carolinas, that's a beautiful area, by the way. But right now, what he has been able to do with Ron Hornaday is
Go, Kenny, go.
wins more than 15 last year in the dirt modified ranks.
He's within a second of Taylor right now.
Running some dirt mods, having success there.
He does seem to be catching Taylor.
Going after a championship there.
I think he might get him.
A lot about how he's able to adapt to different racetracks, different conditions. And sailing these big cars around lap after lap, we see a lot more damage on the noses of these cars. Mark Rett probably saw something that he saw in this young driver saying, you know what, we're going to give you a little bit of a conservative setup. We're not going to go after it. We're not going to chunk out the nose in hot laps. Let's see what the car has. Let's see what feedback you got. A lot of people involved in what he's got going.
Ooh, Unzicker really sliding it off a two.
Did a great job this far tonight.
Those changes that they made on that race break to the 24 of Unzicker did not work out the way they had hoped it would. He closed in within a second and a half, but now the gap between first and second, 6.5 seconds.
He got within 1.8 seconds about 15 laps ago, but now the gap has widened once again. Unzicker's car just not handling the way he wants it to. Cosmetic damage, I'd say, for this driver. He's used to hanging it out on dirt tracks all over the Midwest. He races 40, 50 times a year still. Not to mention the 2011 National Championship in the UMP Dirt Late Models. Yeah, I did.
Woo, he got outside the groove, much like Taylor Gray, but he rolled off the throttle, didn't hit the brakes, was able to get that car to slow down enough where he could cut those tires and save it. But a close call there for Ryan.
Oh, so that's the difference. Unzicker just did basically the same thing Taylor did, but instead of hitting the brakes like Taylor did, he just rolled out of the gas, and that gave him more control, whereas Taylor hit the brakes and went straight into the wall.
There's that big gap back to the third place car of Ty Gibbs.
I feel sorry, honestly, I feel sorry for the fans in attendance, because I can't imagine how boring this has been to watch in person. Especially right now with 7 cars on track. I cannot imagine
but they were worried about this race, worried about staying in contention.
Hey, he did take P4. Kenny Schrader up to P4.
By the way, Ken Schrader is up to 4th. He's gotten by Taylor Gray in the 46. So Schrader and Taylor Gray 4th and 5th.
According to timing and scoring, there's a caution on lap 99, so I think we're going overtime.
Does a lot of spotting. Schrader's the 21st different driver that Andy Hillenberg has put in the ARCA Series car in 2021. A lot of credit to Andy of getting drivers in, indoctrinated, and now getting a chance to go with Schrader to go to the racetrack for the first time as owner and driver.
Well, hang on. Landon Lewis took the white flag. So are we going to get a one-lap shootout? Or did that end the race?
It's amazing. He still has not done a wheel wrong. He's not been up above the groove. He's not been the loose stuff. He's not been able to be told to calm down. He is really smooth on the gas pedal.
He's in 3 and 4 on the final lap. What happens? Oh! Taylor Gray spun in turn 4. What? He was that close! He was in 3 and 4 on the last lap! And Taylor Gray spins in turn 3. And we're gonna have a one-lap shootout. Okay, well, that changes some things. Oh, you gotta feel real bad for Landon Lewis. He thought he was done.
Something happens on the racetrack, brings out the caution, and now you gotta feel like.
And the thing is, Taylor was in the groove. Landon had to go up the track to miss him and almost clipped him.
It's so close he could taste it.
There's a whole lot of people in El Paso.
What is this race?
Closer to the TV to watch how their hometown hero Ryan Unziger will attack this restart. Unziger will be on the tail on the single file restart of the number 2 of Landon Lewis. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Let's check out an auto park it replay from the onboard camera for Ken Schrader in terms of what happened with Taylor Gray. Gray right.
Oh, he just hit a bump and lost it.
I almost think, can't tell, just kind of looped it down the corner. Wonder if something went on underneath in the suspension of that 46.
And it could have been a matter of he actually found it. We could see some dryness now. We can see some slick areas on the racetrack. If he jumped on the gas pedal, maybe he got some air, got back on it, got on the gas. Might have just spun around just because the tires broke loose.
There's 4 cars queued up behind the pace car right now.
For Taylor Gray.
4 cars.
Now a lap down. 4 cars on the lead.
You really haven't missed anything, Earl. Few cars retiring because the track is taking victims, but that's about it. Landon Lewis has led every lap. We almost got the checkered flag. He was in 3 and 4 on the last lap, and Taylor Gray looped it in turn 3, and now we've got overtime.
Ken Schrader down pit road, maybe making a slight adjustment.
Oh, Ken Schrader came to pit road.
By at least Ty Gibbs.
Schrader's 16th start here at DuQuoin. If he finishes where he's running right now, be his 12th top 5 finish. He knows how to survive.
Pretty good.
And he came in the pits earlier if you're just joining our coverage. Schrader was one of the first cars to go to pit road for visibility.
NASCAR's idea of a championship 4.
Taylor Gray, again, we mentioned 1 lap down. He now is a lap down to these cars, and the lucky dog or free pass is not given to a car if they create the caution. So there's no way that Gray can earn that right back to get a lap and stay on the lead lap here. So I believe Tim Monroe might be getting the free pass. And Tim Monroe is one of those.
You're right. If it was NASCAR, it would be over.
Dirt experience. He finished 8th in the car that Schrader's driving here tonight.
Race Bus 2021 Southern Illinois 100. Yes. That is an accurate statement, Barney.
All sorts of problems. That Venturini Motorsports team went to work to try to save the championship for Corey Heim. He's come back out on the racetrack.
You know what I forgot?
Really just running.
We were doing I have the timing and scoring up here the last few. I forgot about that. Y'all gotta remind me of that. I completely forgot about that.
This is going to be a green and white flag together restart.
1 to go.
Of course, I don't know if we're gonna have any more. Well, we'll have West Race watch parties. I don't know if we'll have any more main ARCA watch parties this year or not. Ooh, this race to Eldora. Move it to any half mile. These mile dirt tracks just don't work with stock cars. Springfield has been a little better than this, but it's still not great.
Don't get too excited. But you got to figure he already had his thoughts going towards victory lane and what he's going to say. And who he's going
Nobody's won yet, Landon. You were that close to winning. You were in 3 and 4 on the last lap, and Taylor Gray looped it, and now we're going to overtime.
I think Oxford is going to pour it in there.
Yes, I am very grateful. Because I'd have a 3.5 hour drive back home after this crap.
Turn the wheel wrong for the first time tonight in turn 2.
What do you think?
You haven't yet, Landon. You were this close.
Electronic scanner saying no games, be patient, just do what you've been doing on the starts all night. Then they said go give them a Ron Hornaday restart right here.
Ron Hornaday has always been the king of restarts.
All right, here we go. Is this going to be a one-lap shootout, maybe? I don't know.
Tonight at DuQuoin. I want to just sit back.
We got 6 cars on track for the final restart. What a joke this race has been.
Ryan Unzicker.
Slow pace here.
And green and white together. One lap shootout.
What a restart. Ron Hornaday-esque for Landon Lewis.
Lewis is...
Traction. Gibbs earns another championship point in the battle in this last final lap.
Coming off the final corner. Dreams do come true.
Landon Lewis at 15 years old wins at DuQuoin.
In the ARCA Series.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Let me get the tweets sent out.
A state of disbelief for everybody within the ARCA family. The kid, just 15 years old, gets it done. How about that when he goes back to 10th grade on Tuesday?
Show and tell includes a big trophy from the DuQuoin State.
I don't think they do show and tell in 10th grade.
For Landon Lewis.
Tim Monroe... oh, never mind.
Sometimes, when we do these races, you can just feel something special happen. After winning the General Tire Pole Award, you knew the kid was going to be good. He leads all the laps here tonight in dominating fashion, and now everybody, no matter whether you're in the big leagues of NASCAR or some short track on a Saturday night, you'll be talking about this kid, Landon Lewis, for years to come and what he did at DuQuoin.
The season began in February for the ARCA Menard Series East. Max Gutierrez went to victory lane after a 3-wide pass the finish line in dramatic fashion, driving for this team. Mark Rett and Terry Jones and RJR, this team has put together an effort to get young drivers an opportunity. Gutierrez is racing full time.
All right, so your results. Landon Lewis wins at DuQuoin, leads all the laps, all 104 of them. Ty Gibbs is second. Kenny Schrader comes home in third. Unzicker fell to fourth on the last lap. Taylor Gray fifth. Tim Monroe sixth. Corey Himes seventh. Zach Tinkle eighth. Will Kimmel ninth. Jesse Love 10th. DL Wilson 11th. Tony Breidinger 12th. Owen Smith 13th. Brad Smith 14th. Wayne Peterson 15th. Well, that was something. I don't know what that was, but that was something. You won, Landon. Congratulations. Did you? I didn't expect McDowell to advance. No, I do not expect him. I didn't expect him to before today, and I definitely don't expect him to now after Darlington. Unzicker slid wide in 2 when Gibbs got underneath him. I don't think they made contact. I didn't see any contact. But he slid wide, which let Gibbs and Schrader both get by. I think we're going to see more races out of Landon Lewis next year. Not just dirt tracks. I think we're going to see him on pavement as well. That was ARCA having a baby? What? Okay. I want to at least hear from Landon Lewis. I want to hear some post-race interviews. And I got to figure out how to get an interview with him because I don't really know. I don't know officially who he's actually driving for. Like I said, I think he's technically in a Rhett Jones car, but I don't know. So yeah, I'll have to figure that out, but we'll definitely try to get him on this week. He does seem like a very talented kid. I mean, he did really well at Springfield too. Didn't quite have winning speed, but that was his first time in an ARCA car too. So yeah, he does seem extremely talented. Oh yeah, who are your sponsors, Landon? Oh, you're also the director of comedy. Okay, well, that makes sense now. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a long commercial break now. I like how they're still using a... what would that be, 2020 Daytona picture for their coverage will resume shortly still, because... yeah, it's got to be Daytona, because that's Natalie Decker in the 52, Brett Holmes, I don't know who was in the 22, Herbst was in the 18, Selfie, and Haley Deegan. Who was in the 22 at Daytona last year?
Down to Dave.
And among the first to greet him, Red Jones, Austin Terry, the 2017 champ, back here too. I don't know where to begin. I just want to know the feeling more than anything else.
Right now, I'm kind of speechless for everything. This wouldn't be possible without any of my guys. Mark Rett, Larry Jones, Austin Terrio, everyone that's made this possible for me. It's a dream come true, and I'm blessed to be in this spot.
What was going through your mind? We were surmising you were coming up with the words that you're speaking right now, but then that yellow flag comes out. One lap.
Well, I was trying to get to the checkered fast as I could, and then my spotter told me there was a wreck in turn 3, and I just automatically started thinking what Ron Hornaday's taught me, and just focus on the restart and just get away from him and just do my thing.
That was the words your crew gave you right before that last green flag. Ron Hornaday's start. Take us through the last lap.
The calls come out, and my spotter, Joe Ryan Osborne, he immediately started telling me, just relax and do what Mr. Ron taught you, and I felt like I did that, and it wouldn't be possible without him. He kept me calm the whole race, and that's what it takes. I like to thank Candace Hornaday, Billy Workman. I like to thank my dad and mom, most importantly, all my crew guys. I wouldn't be possible without them either. I like to thank Austin for everything. 19th Green for coming on board for this race, and I'm proud to get them a win, and I'd like to thank everyone else that's been a part of my journey.
Hey, I could pinch you if you need it, but I don't think you're going to need that. Come on in, guys. Congratulate your race winner tonight. How about the 15-year-old Landon Lewis?
Yes, Austin Terrio. He's actually right there. I don't know when Barney's next race is. I think he's got at least one left, but I don't know when. Casey actually probably would be able to answer that better than I would. Casey actually apparently has been keeping in contact with him lately. So I don't know if Casey is still here or not. I haven't seen him say anything for a while. Was it Connor Hall? Okay. I thought he drove that car in 19. I couldn't remember if he drove it in 20 at Daytona as well or not. Alright, who else we talking to? I guarantee we're going to talk to Kenny Schrader, because they've taken every opportunity they can to talk to him, talk to his crew, talk about him, everything Kenny Schrader related tonight. So I'm sure we're going to talk to Kenny Schrader.
On the pavement. Saturday night under the lights at Salem Speedway, another factor in the championship. Who can survive the high banks at Salem? It's going to be a great race there, too.
We have a new champion within the ARCA Menard Series. It's Ty Gibbs. He is the champion of the CGS Imaging 4-Crown.
Oh, Bristol?
The CGS.
I think Gracie's got 2 or 3 left.
It's not even worried about the big one yet. CGS 4-Crown champion. How about that? You weren't even racing for that, were you?
I'm just glad I walked out of here with a working race car. Nose kind of torn up on it. It was a really difficult race. Not trying to tear your stuff up.
How do you manage a race like that? That's what I want to know, because I look at every race car except for the one up here, tore up.
Yeah, I'm kind of still wondering that. Tonight was more of a character building night for me, and my team did a great job, never gave up, and we had a good points day. We're points racing now, so championship racing's a little bit different to me. I want to go win every race, but sometimes you can't, and we got faster cars. So congratulations to the two, and I'm just glad to come out here with a good finish.
Hey, you got a lot of character going for you this year. Second place tonight.
What?
Pretty impressive.
Dave Reef has the most awkward interviews. He's like, yeah, you got a lot of character going for you now, and then Ty's like, yeah, you do too. What? Yeah, Gracie's got... I know she's going to be at Salem. I don't know if she's doing Bristol or not. I think she's doing Bristol, and I'm pretty sure she's doing the West finale at Phoenix as well. So she's got 2 or 3 left. Salem's the only one I remember for sure. Salem and Phoenix, I do know for sure. I can't remember if she's doing Bristol or not. I don't think she's doing Kansas. I think Tony's doing Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, well, I think since they went back to break, I think we're going to call that a stream. I'm going to try to start working on the Rewind show, see if I can hopefully get some official info tonight. If not, you'll see it sometime tomorrow. Tomorrow's a holiday, so y'all are going to be around tomorrow, right? So yeah, we'll... I mean, let's be honest, it'll probably go out tomorrow, because it's already 11 o'clock. Knowing ARCA, it's going to be real late before they send anything, so don't plan on it tonight. I would expect it probably early afternoon tomorrow at best. So, yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. Congratulations, Landon, on your first win. And we'll see y'all tomorrow in the Rewind show. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Peace.